What's up, world? I'm Cameron McKinney, and this is Pop Culture Spotlight, a podcast about the movie Die My Love. Here's a quick synopsis. Grace is a new mother who has moved with her boyfriend Jackson to Montana. The film stars Jennifer Lawrence, Robert Pattinson, Sissy Spacek, Nick Nolte, and Lakeith Stanfield. Standout performances. Jennifer Lawrence is best known for her work in big franchise movies as Mystique in the X-Men First Class films and Katniss Everdeen in The Hunger Games, and in studio award contenders Silver Linings Playbook and American Hustle. But before all that, her big break was a small indie film, Winter's Bone, where she got her first ever Oscar nomination. Die My Love is a small indie that is all about her performance as Grace, who is dealing with being a mother and all that it encompasses and what it means for her romantic relationship. You get some humor in the performance, but this is far and away the most dramatic role of Jennifer Lawrence's career thus far. It's always been my belief that the hardest thing an actor can do in a movie is to portray a feeling, and that's what Jennifer Lawrence is asked to do in this movie, and then some. She is carrying the movie Die My Love more than she's ever had to carry any movie before. And this is my opinion about the current state of Jennifer Lawrence's movie career. In the early part of it, she was relying on her movie star charm, and I loved it. I love those earlier films, but I believe she is on the best run of her career right now, and it started in 2021 with Adam McKay's Don't Look Up, where I believe she gives the best performance in that movie. I know some people are mixed on that one, but she is the best thing in a movie that includes Leonardo DiCaprio, and she deserves credit for that. And then you have the underseen Causeway. I don't get why not enough people watch this movie. Jennifer Lawrence is so good in it, paired with Brian Tyree Henry. It's so interesting to talk about the careers of actors who have won Oscars early, particularly actresses. I mean, you've got a lot of big names right now. Jennifer Lawrence, Brie Larson, and Alicia Vikander. It just feels like these people are now being overlooked because they won an Academy Award really early in their careers. It's like, guys, those three actresses are still doing good work. And yes, I would admit that all three of the names I've just mentioned have made some questionable choices in their careers at times, most notably Brie Larson, but I still believe that all three of them are still as brilliant as they were when they won that golden statue. When it comes to Jennifer Lawrence, it feels like the critics are now on her side. I mean, she was the popular actress there for a moment. She was in two big franchise movies. Everyone liked her in movies. The public was on her side, and the critics were like she could be better. Now it feels like post-Mother, Darren Aronofsky's weird film that I don't love, every critic now kind of loves Jennifer Lawrence, and the average moviegoer is going, I haven't really seen her in anything in the past decade or so. And it's just wild that an actor isn't always at their best when they are the most culturally relevant. I mean, Jennifer Lawrence will probably never be as culturally relevant as she was when she was in those big blockbusters and then those studio Oscar movies. And who knows what's next for her career? Maybe she'll go back to being in bigger studio films directed by massive filmmakers. Maybe she'll finally star in a Christopher Nolan movie. I've heard her say in interviews she really wants to work with him. That would be a match made in heaven, to have Jennifer Lawrence be the lead of a Christopher Nolan movie. Jennifer Lawrence does have some big movies on the way, including What Happens at Night, directed by Martin Scorsese and co-starring the aforementioned Leonardo DiCaprio. Lawrence is someone you want to see work with every big-time director, so this one is a big deal, and she's going to return to the role of Katniss in The Hunger Games: Sunrise on on the Reaping. I don't know how big of a part she'll play in this movie, but it's going to be cool to see her play that iconic part again, paired with Josh Hutcherson. Robert Pattinson, like Jennifer Lawrence, became well known for being the lead of a franchise, playing vampire Edward Cullen in Twilight, and then after he became known for his challenging roles in indies, that is until he returned to studio movies with Tenet and The Batman. What's awesome is how he's using his higher status as a star to still work on smaller indies like Die My Love, where the actor plays Jackson, Grace's boyfriend, who is clueless about what is going on with her. One of the things I like most about Pattinson as an actor is his willingness to play flawed, complicated characters. There are so many movie stars who only want to play heroic characters and good guys, and that's never been Robert Pattinson's MO. For as solid as I think he is in this movie, this is not going to go down as one of his better performances, but that's the point of this character. There's not much more than what meets the eye. He's basic. Pattinson has a big 2026 ahead of him with the following movies: The Drama with Zendaya, The Odyssey with Matt Damon and Tom Holland, Here Comes the Flood with Daisy Edgar-Jones and Denzel Washington, and Dune Part 3 with Timothée Chalamet. That right there is a great mix of smaller movies with a bunch of bigger studio films as well. I feel like 2026 should be the year that Robert Pattinson finally gets a long overdue Oscar nomination. We know he's going to be good in more than 2 of those films. Please make it happen. He's my favorite actor working today. I need Robert Pattinson to finally get an Academy Award nom. It's also definitely worth mentioning when it comes to Pattinson that The Batman Part 2 is on the way. Sebastian Stan is joining the cast. Scarlett Johansson is joining the cast. Barry Keoghan is seemingly coming back. So is Colin Farrell. I mean, I'm excited for this movie. I don't know how many more films Robert Pattinson is going to be playing the Caped Crusader. I said this at the time, but it's worth repeating. What was so special about Pattinson in The Batman is he gave the best performance in that movie playing the superhero. I mean, how many times have we said the best performance in a comic book movie is by the actor who gets to play the big bad? I'm also just excited to see him play the character again. I mean, the only sequels he's ever done before this was the Twilight movies, and I hate to say it, I wasn't that big a fan of those films. I just feel like he's going to bring something different to Bruce Wayne in this movie because he doesn't feel like an actor who likes to do the same things over and over again. When I was growing up, these 2 actors, Jennifer Lawrence and Robert Pattinson, were emerging as 2 of the brightest young stars in all of Hollywood. If you told me in the year 2026 that they would be in a movie together, but it would be small and not that many people would end up seeing it, I would have called you crazy. And the same thing has kind of happened with every one of those young actors who had a big franchise at that time. I mean, the list goes on. Kristen Stewart also with Twilight, Dakota Johnson with the 50 Shades films. I mean, those actors have used their fame to star in smaller movies and make it more so about the films and the acting itself, more so than the spectacle of those bigger movies. Take Pattinson, for example. I mean, he could have used his Twilight fame to star in any romantic comedy he wanted to. I mean, he could have been a major studio actor, but instead he became an actor who only works with top-notch filmmakers. And in the case of Jennifer Lawrence, after we saw movies like Silver Linings Playbook and American Hustle, we all got a sense of who she was as an actress, and we all thought we'd be getting those kinds of performances till the end of time. And then the movie Mother happened. happened. And so many people were confused. They didn't think they would ever see that side of Jennifer Lawrence. I think that just goes back to actors are never just one thing. They'll never remain the same. They're not just going to play the hits that made them famous. They're going to challenge themselves as performers, and these two are perfect examples of that and deserve a lot of credit for where they have taken their careers, because I didn't see this coming for either of them. I mean, I was way more into Jennifer Lawrence than I was Robert Pattinson. Now Robert Pattinson is one of my favorite actors, and Jennifer Lawrence remains one of my favorite actresses. So maybe some of you are looking at this movie and not treating it like it's a big deal, but for me, it is a big deal because of the era where I grew up, where these two were huge, and I think they are still huge. If Robert Pattinson is in a movie with Jennifer Lawrence, I'm going to see that movie. Let's talk about the director of this film. After watching Die My Love, and we need to talk about Kevin, I've learned that writer-director Lynn Ramsey is a visceral filmmaker. She is not someone who is going to blatantly tell you what's going on in her movies. The films rely on emotions and feelings. They are artistic in every sense of the word. I hate to use this word because I think it gets overused a lot, but Die My Love is a vibe. You're either going to vibe with this movie and her films, or you're not going to get them whatsoever. More so than other movies, you really have to sacrifice yourself to the experience of watching Die My Love. It does not have the regular structure of a normal film. And here's another thing that I think many are going to struggle with when it comes to Die My Love. Most film goers enjoy movies with happy endings, and on a similar note, when they watch a movie fixated on a romance, they want everything to work out for both characters. Yes, they'll watch movies where the couple argues and even separates for a part of it, but ultimately most want the movie to end with the happy couple. And that leaves Die My Love in a weird place, because in one sense it's being more realistic to what real life is like. I mean, there are more couples like Grace and Jackson than there are ones that are super happy. But unfortunately, I think that most people view movies as an escape, and I don't think that people will look at Die My Love as an escape. They will say, wow, this movie's a lot, the acting is good, but I'm kind of struggling with the sadness of it. And I don't know if that critique is fair or not. I just think it comes down to who you are as somebody who watches movies. Can you handle a movie like Die My Love, or should you just continue to watch the happy romantic comedies that you're used to watching? And let me pull back the curtain and be honest with you for a second. The only reason I've given this movie a chance is because it stars Robert Pattinson and Jennifer Lawrence. That is how I am as a moviegoer. I follow the actors I like. If Jennifer Lawrence is in a movie, I'm going to watch that movie. If Robert Pattinson is in a movie, I'm going to watch that movie. I think that's a pretty good way to watch movies, because you follow the actors and you get to see them do different kinds of things. I don't want to just watch Jennifer Lawrence do one kind of movie, and the same goes for Pattinson. I want to see them do different kinds of films. And that is something that I think a lot of people used to do. They used to follow the actor. Now I don't believe most people do that. I think they just follow the movie and the hype around it, and sadly, there's not a lot of hype around the movie Die My Love. I mean, people are talking about it when it comes to the performance given by Jennifer Lawrence as Grace. That's the talking point, but I don't think there are that many people out there who are giving this movie a chance. We just live in a different world. I mean, it has two big stars, yet it's only made $11 million at the box office. Oscar chances, the only category Die My Love is competing in a realistic way is for Best Actress, and I do believe there's a real chance it happens for Jennifer Lawrence, because I've heard many say that this is Jennifer Lawrence's best performance. I don't necessarily agree with that, but there's real support for it, and she hasn't gotten an Oscar nomination since Joy. Personally, I would like to see Jennifer Lawrence get a nomination over Emma Stone for Begonia. For me, Lawrence just gives the better performance of the two. It's also blatantly obvious that this is just not a movie for everyone. I mean, some people are just not going to click with the film Die My Love. Obviously, I think there will be many people and women who connect with the character of Grace and what she's been through. I think what audiences are going to struggle with the most is the relationship between Grace and Jackson, because we are so used to movies being different than this. We are used to the couple figuring things out together, and instead of looking at the movie and thinking about it, they'll just say, well, this isn't what I want from a movie. I personally don't feel that way. I'm impressed with what this movie is going for. Do I think it is a great movie? No, but I think it is a very good movie. It's well acted, and Jennifer Lawrence is giving one of the best performances of 2025 in it. Really, what's going on here with the movie Die My Love is this is the curse of doing things differently than the norm. They made a movie that most of us are not used to watching. We are raised to watch a certain kind of movie. Oh, this is a movie, there's a beginning, a middle, and an end, and you should expect a happy ending for all involved. And in the year 2026, when people see movies that they've never seen before, instead of saying, well, this is something new and different, they say, this is bad, I never want to watch this again. Right? It goes back to seeing Jennifer Lawrence in Mother and going, this is not the Jennifer Lawrence that I want to see. This is not the Robert Pattinson that I want to see. I want to see him in Batman. What is he doing in this movie? And sadly, I think that says a lot about the current state of adult movies in theaters right now. Movies that are struggling the most are the films that are trying to say something about real life. This is a real life character in Grace. This is a normal human being who is going through a process that many human beings have gone through. I think there's a time and place for movies to be escapism, and then I think there's a time and place for a movie like Die My Love, where you watch it and you have an emotional reaction to what you are watching on the screen. I've avoided a lot of reviews for this movie, but I'm sure that some of them call both of these characters unlikable, and that is something I really hate to see in movie reviews. But that is another thing that people are so used to seeing in movies: a leading character that you root for, you love, they're charming, they're witty, they're who you want to be, when the reality is the characters in Die My Love are like you, more so than those other fictional movie characters. These feel like real living human beings. I am rooting really hard for Jennifer Lawrence to get an Oscar nomination, because I think if she does, more people will watch this movie, because they'll go, wow, I have to take this thing seriously because Jennifer Lawrence is an actress who I like and she got an Oscar nomination for it. That is supposed to be the purpose of the Academy Awards, and that is something that I have said so many times on this podcast, is why more performances in indies should be nominated, because they are the movies that need the help. Die My Love needs help from the Academy Awards. If Jennifer Lawrence gets that nomination, so many people are going to watch that film, and it will have a lasting legacy. If she doesn't get that nomination, it will continue to be a movie that is underseen. Die My Love is not the most pleasant watch of all time, nor is it the most entertaining film of all time, but it is a movie that is sure to have an impact on you if you give it the chance. And I'm here to say you should definitely give Die My Love a chance. The only selling point you really need is that it stars Jennifer Lawrence and Robert Pattinson. What else do you really need? The film Die My Love has legitimate star power behind it. Thanks for listening to this edition of Pop Culture Spotlight. I'm Cameron McKinney, and there'll be a new episode of the podcast every Thursday on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. I highly recommend you check out the film Die My Love. Next week on the podcast, I'm talking about the movie 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple, starring Ralph Fiennes and Jack O'Connell, directed by Nia DaCosta. So tune into that and please rate, review, and subscribe.